And welcome to episode 85 of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, Director of Operations at TechnoBuffalo. And I'm joined by Executive Editor Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
Boy, Director of Operations is a lot more cumbersome
I was just going to say, like, even in my head, it was like I was just waiting for Editor-in-Chief of the site, and then it didn't happen, and I forgot.
Yeah, I know, but it's I don't know. I'm going to have to get used to saying that.
Yeah.
And just a warning for everyone, if Todd disappears from the show like he did 3 seconds before I hit start.
Yeah, you know what I realized, though? My VPN was on, and sometimes that causes issues with streaming for whatever reason. I just closed it.
Gotcha.
It could have been that.
So a lot to go over this week. How are you doing this week?
I'm good.
Hey, how is it in your second full week as editor?
It's been busy, really busy.
So here's what I love, folks. When I was editor-in-chief, I couldn't barely get up from my computer because every single time you go, ding, 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 from all the messages from everybody,
it's been like that.
So now I have very calm silence. And then I Skyped Todd the other day and I hear ding, ding, ding.
It's like,
I'm like, man, I feel no pity for you.
Yeah, you know what? I like it though. Yesterday was busy because Joey, who we pretty much do the exact same thing. We're both tackling it together. Was at an event, so he was traveling. So yesterday and Monday were particularly busy. And Roy came in. He's like, "How's it going?" And I was like, "I feel like all morning I've been putting like a really hard puzzle together, like the same kind of mental." Because I'm moving. You have to move posts around. Like some are finished, but you don't want those to run before others that all of a sudden are more important, and then so you're constantly shifting things around. You're like, oh, but this is still news and it needs to go out, but then we're not going to have anything at 5. So now I understand a bit more of what it used to be like to be you.
Well, I appreciate that because for so long you guys were like, why don't you just write everything now? And all
yeah.
And then when you get in this position, you're like, oh wait, we're going to stop publishing at 2 p.m.
Right. And you're like, well, then what are we doing? And it's, and then at that point, it's like you have to pace it too, because then everybody's so tired. They're like, oh, we've done all the work all the day, and everybody's sort of done at 1 o'clock or whatever. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. You'll get used to it. You will. And then you'll start going, no, look, if you understood this job.
That's right.
So there's a lot. What's funny is yesterday, every week, Todd and I get together the day before the show, and we're like, oh, what are we going to discuss this week? And we said, oh, there's really not a whole lot going on. Mm-hmm. And then this morning, we've got the new Kindle. We've got the Doctor Strange trailer, the very bizarre news of the Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover, and the HTC 10 news is out now, which we can finally discuss.
Right.
Disclaimer: anything we say about the HTC 10 does not qualify as our official review. This is just chit chat.
Yeah, I've only spent like 2 minutes with it in hands on, so that's
you
my knowledge anyway.
Yeah, you spent a very short period of time. I will say though, as someone who has just seen the pictures of the HTC 10, I was not impressed.
Yeah, it's like I like what HTC's doing, right? They kind of went back a little bit almost to the HTC One M7 design, which was a couple years ago. M7, M8, M9, and now it's just HTC 10. They got rid of the 1. And I like that. But I'm just kind of, and I agree with, and I'm trying to tread carefully here because I don't want anybody to think this is a review, because I'm not even writing the review, so don't worry about it. But my initial thoughts are that the design's kind of getting stale. Like it's awesome, it's great, it's a metal design that everybody's praised and loved, and we've moved on, I think, in a lot of ways. Like if the M7 was designed by Scott Croyle, who now works at Nextbit and did the Nextbit Robin and stuff, and you think that they're like, here's HTC, and he used a team of designers and stuff, of course, but here's HTC, like they're using this design that was created by somebody who's no longer there. Like, can we get something fresh, new? Like they don't have to change too much. Like if it works, don't fix it. But the M9 didn't work, and I think in a lot of ways people were even saying that. I mean, it worked as a phone, but like the design, I think a lot of people were like, this is great, but let's do something new. And then 10 is here, and it's it almost feels older, but it's got great hardware and stuff. It's just like that design that we've seen. So that's my opinion. And that's by no means, even in a review, that's not to say that would ever come to my mind when saying buy it or don't buy it. I'm just saying from HTC standpoint, like, you want to revitalize the market and get consumers super excited about a phone again. You might want to try something newer, like, Samsung with the edges and LG with and I don't think the LG design works that well, but with the modularity, something different. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been a big HTC fan for years now, and I'm with you. I'm just like, guys, it's, and I know, people go, well, the iPhone hasn't changed design. No, we say it about them too. It's there is only so much you can do with this form factor, and yes, I know Samsung is supposedly working on foldable phones. I'll believe it when I see it in my hand.
As long as it doesn't look like the Kyocera Echo, which was like a 3DS.
Oh yeah, that thing was so bizarre.
Yeah.
But it's just they've got to do something to spruce it up. I mean, the HTC 10, when you look at it compared to, say a Galaxy S7, it's just not sexy. It's not that attractive.
Yeah, it's like it's really metallic, which I like. Like I said, I like that. It's just that, you go to the Samsung, and look, the S7's not like a huge change over the S6 design either, but I like the glass and metal. It's kind of only the second time Samsung did it. It's not like the fourth time here. So that's my big problem.
Right. Speaking of Galaxies, I'm using a Galaxy S6 Edge right now, and you warned me about the battery. Oh boy, were you right about the battery.
Yeah.
Oh man. And folks, I'm going to have to hand the show over to Todd here in a minute because I hear the UPS truck pulling up. Their timing is amazing. So what do you think HTC could do to attract? Okay, where's the kid coming from?
That's what I just said. It's the hallway.
Okay. So what do you think HTC could do to bring people back to them? And with that, I'll be right back.
It's tough because I feel like I see. You're leaving me with the question while you bail from the UPS guy. I think HTC, I think it's always had a huge fan base of people, or it had a dedicated fan base. I shouldn't say huge, who like their phones. And I think over the years, especially most recently, we had, when you look at the M9 last year, the A9, two phones that I don't think were incredibly popular, and they followed, the M8, which was a great phone, but not as awesome, I think, as like the M7, or at least what people found with the M7. And so now I feel like customers who might have upgraded over those years and stuck with HTC, at least with the M9, eventually just switched and were like, all right, possibly could have, if they even bought the M9, bought other devices. And so you wonder if they've risked now losing their customers to Samsung and LG and iPhone or Apple and stuff like that. So Sean was gone, but the quick gist of it is,
I agree with everything you said.
The gist of it is, I think it was risky to have a couple. I mean, not risky. It's not like they knew, but like the M9, for example, people who saw that and were like, oh, I'm not going to buy that phone. I'll wait for the next one. They might have bought another phone last year, say the S6 or something, really liked it. And then this year, now they're going to be like, oh, S7, because the M9 didn't sell well. Like even from the get-go, even after it was out, HTC sales were down. So like that's what's kind of, I guess, concerning. And then when you see like the M10, or not the M10, it's just the 10, HTC 10. It's a nice, like there's nothing, and this isn't my review again because I've only played with it for minutes, like for hands-on. It's like there's nothing that holds it back. So I think it has a lot to go for it. Like last year, the M9 thing, it seemed like the camera was pretty bad. I don't think from my like brief, again, time with the phone, that the camera is going to hold it back this year, because DxOMark gave it the same score as Samsung. So like there's not like a one big standout thing that seems to be like making headlines after the hands-ons this year. Yeah,
I know. I hope HTC can pull out a winner. I just don't know if the 10's going to do it. And I'm sorry, the name is, when you just name it a number, there's just not enough there to latch onto.
Yeah.
As a consumer, I mean, yeah, it's short, but 10.
The only thing I could think of is because you're saying 10 instead of one M7, one M8, one M9, now you're bringing the HTC brand name back into the equation. So you have to say HTC 10 because otherwise people are like, 10 what? What are you talking about? And I think if HTC is, worried that maybe they're getting forgotten among the Samsungs and LGs and Apples of the world, that they need their brand back in, that's the only thought I could think of.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but moving on to, and I see some questions about the HTC 10. We will get to those. But moving on to other technology announcements. Hey, you ready to drop $290 on a Kindle?
Yeah, that happened right this morning. We were just kind of sitting here and boom, it hit. And we were expecting it because Jeff Bezos said last week that a new Kindle was coming. And then yesterday there were pictures, I think out of China or something, but it was basically just like the pictures of the Kindle press images that hit. And so it was like, okay, here it comes. And we were expecting a battery pack that's included, and it's leather. So like, all right, at least, Amazon's not nickel and diming you right there with like, here's a $100 cover, $90 cover, whatever. So it comes with it. But the thing is, they're like months of battery life, which is crazy. Like, who cares, right? Because the Kindle, I don't think I charge mine more than once a month. I just like plug it in.
I don't charge my Paperwhite more than once a month. Yeah,
and I read it like pretty much every night, for an hour or whatever. So that's fine. And then like, all right, sharper screen, that's great, but $300 versus what's the Paperwhite, like $119 now, and it's on sale pretty frequently.
Well,
or the Voyager.
Here's a crazy idea. How about you let me try to buy it without the cover? I don't need the cover.
I think that's like their thing, though. Like, they're trying to say it's like, you don't really have to charge it, and you include it with that. And then it's like super thin at one point, like the thinnest and lightest ever. Then it gets a little chunkier. Then there's like, they brought back the dedicated hardware buttons. So it's a touchscreen too, but you can also use the hardware buttons if you want to flip through pages, which I don't care about. Again, I sweat. I could see like why they might say like your finger gets, I don't know. Like swiping is just totally easy. And I'm not bashing Amazon either. And I'm happy to bash Amazon, but I'm not bashing them in this case because I really like the Paperwhite. I just can't understand why somebody would buy this instead. And I haven't seen it yet, so maybe that's the key thing. But $300 just feels like a lot to spend on a e-reader. And the other thing I was going to say is that it's more than 3 times the price of the entry-level Kindle, which is $79.99. And it doesn't have the backlight, and it's not as sexy or whatever, but like, what? Like, you could buy 3 of one model for the price of this one? I just can't see the big differences and trade-offs, at least especially between, the Paperwhite and that.
Well, and Amazon's proven that they can produce quality products for a cheap price. I mean, look at the Fire tablet. You can buy a 6-pack for $250.
Yeah.
So I don't get the pricing of this Kindle. I mean, I wasn't in the market for a new Kindle. My Paperwhite is perfectly fine. I'm quite happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike say with a phone or whatever, every time a new Kindle comes out, I don't feel, I've got to get the new Kindle. No,
the only thing I was trying to think of that the other day, actually, like what would tempt me from a new Kindle. And it was if they had like a blue light blocking kind of feature in addition to the backlight. So like night shift on iOS, just so people understand what I'm saying. So like it's like a kind of a tan or orange backlight in addition to the one they have, like if it could switch, because then I'd be able to fall asleep easier or whatever, like they say that. I actually do find it affects me. So it'd be nice.
I will say that the dimming of the iPad I have found to be far more pleasant than I expected.
Yeah, I use it on my iPhone, and so at night, it doesn't like sear your eyes when you look at it.
Although I will say my favorite thing now is having a Echo in my bedroom.
Oh yeah.
So just being able to, when I wake up in the middle of the night, just going, Echo, what time is it? Okay. And go back to
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to speak to my gadgets is something I'm enjoying way more than I should.
Yeah. So how long until we get Alexa on the Kindle? Like, why would you even need it? I don't know, but
I don't know. But so the other topic we wanted to touch on briefly, and this is always the area where Todd goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Did you watch the Doctor Strange trailer?
Oh no, you know what? I didn't, and I'm terrible. But that allows you to explain it to me.
Okay, so Doctor Strange is a character in the Marvel Universe who is considered the sorcerer supreme of Earth, meaning he's the ultimate magical power. And this is a character that has always made me fall asleep within 3 seconds of trying to read any story involving him. I have never enjoyed Doctor Strange. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, his powers are derived from the Eye of Agamotto, and his arch enemy is Dormammu. And I'm just like, call him Bill. Just, I don't want to read these words. And so Doctor Strange is just a character. As I always explain, he's Tony Stark without the fun.
Oh,
he was a talented surgeon. His hands get injured in a car wreck, and he goes out and searches out these magical people because he wants to heal his hands and be the wonderkin doctor again. Instead, he becomes the sorcerer supreme. Bores the heck out of me. This may be the first time that I skip a Marvel movie. I'm just not that interested in Doctor Strange. That being said, this is still the company that made a talking raccoon interesting.
Right.
But the dumbest thing, so for those that don't know, there's a convention going on in Las Vegas right now called CinemaCon, which is actually a convention for theater owners, which, considering how few mom and pop theaters there are anymore, I don't know why this thing's
so I was thinking. I was just thinking that, like, what?
Yeah, so you're entertaining like AMC and Regal. But
right.
Anyway, so Sony announced two big projects at their talk yesterday. They announced Spider-Man Homecoming, which is the name of the rebooted Spider-Man, and the Homecoming has two meanings, and they admitted to it. I knew what they were going for, and they actually admitted it. Homecoming is a major event in high school, and this is Spider-Man's homecoming to the Marvel Universe.
Nice.
But then they announced the long-rumored MIB 23.
That was great.
Which is the crossover of Men in Black with 23 Jump Street.
Yeah, I was like, what? So, yeah, Jonah Hill and what's his name?
I can't think of his name either all of a sudden.
Anyway.
Magic Mike.
Yeah. They're in it. But, like, Will Smith and stuff for Men in Black aren't. And, like, I honestly, I wrote the post, but there's no information on it, right? Like, you just confirmed it and launched the logo.
So what they're going to do, apparently it is going to be new Men in Black, and they're looking at this as a relaunch of the franchise. But of all the odd ways to do this,
yeah,
I mean, I don't get it.
Well, my guess is, like, they wanted to continue Men in Black. This is just a complete guess. So, and, like, Will Smith was like, nah, I'm done with that or something. I don't know why, because he probably made a boatload of money from it, but he's like, nah. And then, so they're like, well, we have 21 Jump Street, and we could make, they did 22, and they're probably like, we could do 23, but we could also, like, bring back Men in Black, because that's funny. Like, so now you have, like, Jonah Hill in a Men in Black movie.
Well, and like the jokes we were making in the Slack chat room this morning about what other series can we cross over. And I'm like all for Little Hellraiser women. I forget what your one was.
Mine was E.T. and Scream. So you have a little alien murdering people.
Yes, that was a E.T. Scream crossover.
That's what Gremlins was.
Oh, good grief. But the other big announcement was also confirmation that there will be a solo Ben Affleck Batman movie. He is directing it.
That was last night, right?
Yeah, which we all knew was happening. It was just required somebody to stand on a stage and actually confirm it. So a lot going on in movies, but not all of them good ideas.
I know, but you know what though? That the Jump Street movies were funny. Men in Black was funny, and like this will probably be stupid funny. I mean, Channing Tatum, that's his name.
Yes. And I did enjoy the 3 Men in Black films, but I haven't seen 21 or 22 Jump Street because I had zero interest in them.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. They're like I don't have anything to watch Saturday. Put it on. It's dumb, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about this. Have you ever heard there is a social network now called Letterboxd? So you drop the E out of the end of Letterbox, so it's XD.
Oh, so it's Web 2.0, like
exactly. Well, it's also probably the only available domain name they could find. But So the whole point of it though is it's a social network for movie lovers.
Oh,
So you go through and like you check off all the movies you've seen, and then you can also give hearts to the ones you loved, and you can write reviews and all that. And so I'm basically just using it as like a movie tracker. We won't discuss how many movies I now know that I've seen.
I was gonna say it sounds like Goodreads, owned by Amazon now, but
Yeah, I don't think I'm done, and I'm over 1,600.
Wow.
Yeah, even I kind of went, wow, I kind of need a life.
I don't even know how many I'd have.
Yeah, no, I'm somewhere over 1,600, and I don't think I'm done digging through the system finding all my movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies, I just watched, and then we can move on. But I just watched Spotlight, which was amazing. Did you see Spotlight yet?
Yeah, I watched it when I flew back from Irvine.
That was good. We need a TechnoBuffalo Spotlight team.
Okay, so you get a Boston accent, we'll make you Michael Keaton.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
And Mark Ruffalo was so good in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the story was okay, and the acting, it was another one of those situations where the acting definitely overshadowed the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought Ruffalo was so good.
Yeah.
Keaton was good. I'm so glad Keaton's getting work again. I've always enjoyed him.
Yeah.
And although I found it funny when I thought about the fact that Keaton has now been in Spotlight and The Paper. So
he was in The Paper. You're right. 2 newspaper movies.
Yeah, so he's making a career out of playing newspapermen. But no, Spotlight was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to get through my backlog of Oscar-nominated films from last year.
Yeah.
Well, we
watched The Force Awakens, by the way. Moving on.
I wasn't going to ask. So moving on to the questions, we have a bunch of them, and of course, the most important question of the day from Michael Vassell. Let's address the elephant in the room. Todd, have you returned anything?
No, it's the cowboy boots. Got to go back, but I didn't return them yet.
Oh, you are going to give up on the cowboy boots?
Well, I don't know. They're sitting in the box. It's like, ready to go. I guess I returned a product I didn't buy. It was the Samsung Galaxy View that went back last week.
Well, that doesn't count if you didn't buy it.
I know. Review sample.
Yes, review sample. Well, and turnabout is fair play from JK. Sean, how's the Mega doing, and return anything lately? First off, I don't return things because I only buy things I know I want. And the Mega's in its box somewhere over here.
Well, there's things I love. I want all these things. It's just like, then I buy it. I'm like, that was stupid. Like the cowboy boots were a gift card, but then I'm like, oh, but if I have the gift card, I can buy. The reason I had to use the gift card is because, long story short, we have the Echo and all kinds of stuff. And like, we're buying new dog food and toilet paper and blah, blah, blah from Amazon. All of a sudden the Amazon gift card's used up on like household stuff. So I was like, I got to use this thing. So it doesn't just go to that stuff. And that's why I bought the cowboy boots.
Well, you didn't tell me it was from a gift card. That just keep them.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're awesome. I mean, it's cowboy boots. My wife's like, why do you have cowboy boots?
Don't listen to wives.
Yeah, I know.
From Michael Vassell, Sean, I see you're wearing a Pebble Time. I'm interested in buying a smartwatch to accompany my iPhone, but I'm not sure what to go with. Is the Time worth a buy or any better alternatives? Overall, I like the Time, although I'm having a problem lately with I get my notifications, but it's not vibrating my watch. I don't know what's going on. I've looked in the settings and everything else. In general, though, I do like the Time a lot. I like the fact that it's in color. So now, like, if I get an email, I know, okay, I can just glance, oh, okay, it's red, that's a email. Oh, it's green, that's a text message, whatever. So that's nice. And overall, I like it a lot. I have not used an Apple Watch. I just didn't want to spend that much money on a smartwatch. Really, I've only used the original Pebble and the Pebble Time, so I can't really comment on other ones. But I do like the Pebble Time a lot.
Yeah, I'm back to nothing. I had been wearing the Moto 360, actually, like the original. I dusted it off, booted it up, and I wore it over the weekend. And I was just like, I'm getting so annoyed with like the notifications on my wrist. It's driving me nuts. The one thing I liked, though, was I was driving and it was giving me the Google Maps directions also on my wrist, and it had been a while since I used Android Wear, and I was like, oh, that's really convenient, because you're not always looking down at the smartphone. You can kind of keep it up on the road. But yeah, smartwatches. I was talking to Roy about this the other day. I'm just, I'm kind of done with them for now. The notifications just drive me bonkers. I guess maybe it's because, we use Slack all day long. You can turn that off, but it's Slack, it's email, it's this, it's that. And then, you turn off all the notifications. You're like, why am I wearing a smartwatch now? Now I got to charge it every night for no reason.
Yeah. It's funny is my parents the other day, they were updating their Garmin GPS, and I was like, why in the world are you two still worrying about a standalone GPS? Dad, you're carrying an iPhone. Mom, you're carrying 2 Android phones. Why in the right? Oh, well, we just, we prefer GPS. I'm just like, that was the first thing I dumped out of my life once I got fully into Google Maps and smartphones. I was it's just, I love it. Every time I go to Irvine and I have to rent a car and they ask you, and would you like to rent a GPS? I'm like, no
way.
Who? The only situation I can see renting a GPS is if you're in a foreign country and you don't have a data plan for that country. Then I could see, because you don't want to pay the international data rates. That I could understand. If you're in your home country, why?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I mean, the experience you get with Waze and Google Maps and stuff is way better, in my opinion.
Waze, I try using Waze every time I'm out there, because like Roy and I were meeting up to go to Disneyland when I was out there, and so I tried sending him, okay, I'm on my way. All I ended up doing was sending him where I was at that exact second. I'm like, I don't have time to sit here and figure this out. Okay, he knows I'm actually outside the office. Whatever.
It's good when you're going into out there, I guess, but into highly congested traffic areas where you're going to hit traffic and you need alternate routes and stuff like that, or how bad the traffic is, because it's constantly updated. So I like that.
Yeah, no, I do like using it. It's just some of the social features I've found puzzling. From JK, Batman might be good. I liked Affleck in the BVS movie. He is a good director too. I can see it being a good movie. He was BVS, for those that don't know, is Batman v Superman. He was, in my opinion, the best thing about the movie. For those that haven't seen my review, it's on my personal blog. I absolutely hated that movie with fiery passion. However, he was not the problem by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't know. I'm interested to see his take. Hopefully he'll kill a few less people. From Michael Vassell, in your opinion, guys, what do you want to see with iOS 10? Do you expect it to be a major update?
I honestly have no idea right now. I don't even know what I would ask for either.
I don't know what I would ask for, but I think my gut tells me it's going to be a major update because it's going to be with the iPhone 7.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be big. If it's iOS 10, it's an upgrade from iOS 9, so it'll be a big upgrade. But I don't know what's going to be in it.
Maybe widgets for the home screen?
I was going to say, if you think about the things like that, it's just
or lock screen. I mean,
we talked about this, even probably back as far as iOS 7, where it was people like my mom and that audience, they're used to this. So Apple it's gonna, what do? They do the Android approach where they have an easy and an advanced home screen, or what? That have to be the way to do it. But it's feeling stale. It really is, and I think maybe we'll see multi-window if they're gonna follow Google. I mean, people are gonna hate me for saying that, but follow Google in that sense, where Google just added an N. And I know it's already on the iPad Pro and the other iPads in iOS 9, but I don't know where else it's going to go without facing that problem where it becomes too complicated for the people that appreciate the simplicity of iOS.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason I put my father, this iPhone he's on iPhone 5S. This is the first smartphone he's ever had. And folks, that's the whole reason I put him on iOS, as opposed to Android. My father gets immensely flustered by technology, and with iOS, I was able to just simply go, you do this, don't touch anything else. Don't go.
That's right.
Like I put all the quote unquote dangerous icons into one folder. I was like, just don't go in this folder, because then he's got 2 taps to go to get into anything potentially dangerous, like the settings. So for someone like him who's not familiar with technology, although it's been immensely fun teaching him how to sync Google Contacts, that's been he's getting there. He finally remembers how to at least get into it on the computer and edit them. That took several lessons. I love my father. He is a very bright man, just not in technology. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They can't overcomplicate iOS. That's been part of their selling point, is just, it just works.
Yeah.
So.
And like the big things in iOS 9 I don't even use. Like I don't even remember what they call it, but like when you swipe Siri suggestions and nearby and all that stuff, like who cares? That's stupid. I never go there for the news or anything, or to find a gas station. I've never used that. I also never use like 3D touch, like when you hold down on an app and go to new. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people use it. I don't know, kind of bored. I think I said that already in an article on the site.
We're all bored with it.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a reliable, really great platform, but it's just, it's not exciting anymore. Not for me.
I agree. From Michael Prieto, will you guys ever do or be a part of a meetup? There has been a TechnoBuffalo meetup before. It was in London, of all places. And it was kind of impromptu. John was there on vacation.
I was going to say that was before I even started. So.
And there was a meetup in Los Angeles a year or 2 ago, but we want to do meetups. It's simply a matter of time, and also our team is very spread out. The only time a lot of us are together is CES, and believe me, that's not the time you want to meet us, because we're all punch drunk from lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would definitely participate in a meetup. I actually participated in a meetup for a former employer before. I've got no problem with them. It's just a matter of us coordinating it. That's the big problem.
Yeah, we did a meetup when I was at BGR in the city. It was fun. We had a lot of people, and we had like sponsors. I think Samsung and HTC. No, it couldn't have been both. Might have just been Samsung. And giveaways, and we should do something like that sometime. It's just like you said, we're all over the country.
I don't want to say when, but the potential trip I just mentioned to you the other day out to New York.
Yeah, maybe around that.
Maybe we could get Joey to come up. I don't know. We could discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
Get at least the East Coast and Midwest crew.
Yeah.
But folks, very, very, very tentative conversation. You just heard the entirety of it, so don't write anything in stone. From JK, the thing I dislike on my Moto 360 is that the weather keeps popping up and popping up and popping up, no matter how many times you swipe it away. Is that a problem you found with it, Todd? Or
yeah. I mean, Android Wear in general too. Like, it's just these pop-ups. Like, right, you like dismiss them and then it's back. But certainly the weather, that one bothers me. And for whatever reason, and maybe it's because I haven't spent a lot of time to go back and look, it's pulling up the weather from my personal Gmail account that is still set to a zip code I lived in when I was in college, which is like useless. So am I getting weather for a place that's 3 hours from here or whatever?
But I find the weather.com app on my iPhone keeps, like rain will start at 4:06 p.m. I'm like, outside it's completely sunny. Then I realize it still thinks I'm in England from my vacation.
There you go. Yeah. Same
I'm
idea.
like, okay, sorry for Manchester, but
Crazy.
Not gonna get me wet. From Michael Prieto, I know it's relatively early, but which phone do you see selling the most this year? Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, LG G5, or HTC 10? S7.
Yeah, S7 definitely.
Yeah, S7 will win just out of simple brand recognition.
Yeah, I was gonna say historically, like.
Yeah, and that's not a commentary from any of us about which phone is the best. It is simply sales numbers just say that the S7 should win. From JK, I hate how they price the A9 by raising the price. I think they are going to fall flat with the 10. It looks nice, I guess. The specs look great, and I'm hearing the camera is great, but the price, meh. I think everyone's a little nuts with their pricing right now, and I think Amazon showed that with the Kindle.
Yeah, but I mean, remember, this is a flagship smartphone, and it's the same prices like the S7 and the S7 Edge, the M10, Snapdragon 820 processor, top of the line camera, 4 gigs of RAM, quad HD display. So it's got the metal, it's got the specs. It's a flagship phone. That's what these cost. I think the problem is that consumers for so long were thinking that phones cost $200 because they were signing 2-year contracts, and in a lot of cases, that's not the case with this phone. At least the way HTC's marketing it, it's sort of like encouraging people to go to its website, buy it through HTC, buy it unlocked, as opposed to going to Verizon, Sprint, or T-Mobile. And by the way, AT&T is not selling it, which is kind of crazy. So that's another reason why sales are going to be probably a little lower. And I have no reason. I reached out to HTC. They just told me they prefer AT&T customers buy it unlocked from their site. I reached out to AT&T, and they had nothing to comment on the record. So
I find that really odd.
Yeah. Well, my thing was maybe, I don't know the answer. I've seen two sides to this, and neither of these is official comments. So I'm just telling you what I've read elsewhere and heard in discussions. HTC was trying to cut back on bloatware on its phones. We know that because the way it was, removing duplicate apps. So like Gallery on HTC is now Photos, and they worked closely with Google to lower that. So I know they're trying to cut back on bloatware. And I haven't seen the Verizon, Sprint, or T-Mobile phones, but I'm guessing it probably has bloatware, right? Because all the other phones do, but maybe not. And maybe it's a bloatware discussion. I have a hard time believing, however, that HTC would pull out of a conversation with the number 2 largest wireless U.S. carrier in the United States just because of that. And so it's possible maybe then that AT&T is upset, that the M9 sales were down, or that the A9 didn't do well, or whatever, and is just a little worried and skittish and saying, hold on, let's see how well it sells first. And we saw that with Verizon previously too. I don't remember if it was with the M9 or the M8, but Verizon originally wasn't on board to sell one of those phones. Several months later, it came on. So these things happen.
We just got a question, and so it prompted me to go look while you were discussing it, from Michael Prieto. Sean, any update on your Echo Dot that was supposed to ship in August? So I just logged into my Amazon account, and it's now saying June 22nd. So up by 2 months. But
that's weird.
I know it's still bizarre, but yes, it has moved up at least. Not sure how I jumped 2 months, but whatever. From Sachin Bahal, do you think more OEMs should be just selling their phones unlocked via their sites? Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised Samsung still doesn't do that in the US. I think people would buy them. And, I bought mine from AT&T, and I think I put a big chunk of it down payment, whatever the largest is they let you do. And then you could pay it off, but it still has all the AT&T stuff on it. It's got the AT&T logo on the back. And then you have to, once I do pay it off, I got to get them to unlock it for me, blah, blah, blah. I would have just bought it immediately, right, from Samsung.
Now, I will say this, so long as they sell it at the same time as the carriers, and so long as they sell it at the same price as the carriers. That was actually a common problem in the comic book industry, that manufacturers would go to Comic-Con with a product and sell it, and then not ship it to retailers for 6 to 8 weeks later. And I always would look at them and say, so you're telling me the largest gathering of our customers in the country won't have any effect on the sales because I already placed my orders with you?
Yeah. But in some cases, I probably would have waited. If Samsung was saying, oh, we're not going to sell it till April or May, I might have waited instead of buying it back in February.
Yeah. I don't
pre-ordering it in February anyway.
From Michael Prietro, have any of you used the iPhone SE or iPad Pro 9.7? We actually had a question from Michael Vasella asking our thoughts on those devices as a follow-up. I looked at the SE very quickly, and I used the 9.7 briefly. So I really don't feel comfortable in giving an official opinion on either. I'll just say, in my brief time with him, I was like, Apple products.
I haven't used either one, but I was just looking. 9 to 5 Mac had a story that just went up. The iPad Pro, the original 12.9-inch one with Wi-Fi, they have it for $669.99 on eBay right now, and I think you can get the with LTE for like $860. So good deal, just in case anybody is interested in those. Literally just brought it up. What's that?
Don't tell me that. Because I was halfway tempted by the larger version once I saw it being used and how you can use it.
Yeah,
I don't need that. Anyway. Oh, good gravy. We'll take one more question, and then we'll get out of here.
That's a tempting price, though.
Shut up, Todd. From Such a Behold, do you think HTC will release a smartwatch? Why or why not? I don't think they will.
I don't know. I mean, they've gone back and forth on that one. They said, we're going to have a wearable. Then it was with the partnership with Under Armour. So it does technically have like a smartwatch. It's just more of a fitness band. Will it have Android Wear? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced that there's enough of a market out there for smartwatches. I was going to say,
like, how many people are actually buying Android Wear smartwatches?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like,
yeah, really. I mean, the Apple Watch is selling, but it's Apple.
Exactly. Anytime Apple comes out with a product like that, you can't really say, oh, well, that's saying a lot for that market. No, what it's saying is it's an Apple product and people buy Apple products.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not convinced. Well, folks, that is going to do it for this week. As always, we appreciate you joining us. You can find the TechnoBuffalo Show on the iTunes Store by searching for the TechnoBuffalo Show, and we do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help the show. You can also find us on Pocket Cast. You can subscribe via RSS feed, or you can find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Until next time, I'm Sean Ani. I'm the Director of Operations for TechnoBuffalo, and I've been joined by Executive Editor Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
Until next time, take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.